Well, Wildfly Swarm was easy because it's another microservices platform that's based around Java EE, its main technology, and obviously Spring Boot is another Java platform, but obviously it's a bit more of a competitor to Java EE. And if you're the sort of person who follows Twitter very much, you'll notice that there's often a lot of sometimes very heated debate between the Java EE camp and the Spring camp. So yeah, it was interesting to kind of compare the three approaches, all of them different, and to see how actually all three have features that work really, really well for microservices, and all three, although they've been around for a long time and are mature, are also really great for modern web. Well, generally people would approach Java EE and think it's heavyweight based on the past. And as I went through in my talk, it's just not the case anymore. I don't think it's been the case for quite a long time now, but certainly with Java EE 7, it's incredible how it's come along in the past however many years it's been. But yeah, I think a lot of people tend to use things like maybe Node.js is quite a popular one. But I mean, they've all got their own advantages. Obviously, if you are very much a JavaScript person and you have no knowledge, or you don't really care about Java or Java EE or Spring or whatever, I don't think there's a huge amount of value in spending the time learning a new framework just to take advantage of this. But I think that the key benefits of Java EE and Spring as well over JavaScript and some of the more trendy modern styles is that it allows you to kind of forget the frameworks and the technologies and just focus on the business logic. And at the end of the day, that's what pays the bills. Well, I think a big advantage is one of the things that I highlighted in the talk, which is you can use it today with existing WAR files, or EA files or jar files. You don't need to change anything that you've got to be able to deploy it and run it on Pyro Micro. You can do that today. And we've also got updated Docker images coming out with the latest release that will allow people to get up and running quite quickly with it. In terms of downsides, I guess if you're already using Spring, then obviously Spring Boot does deploy to Pyro Micro, and we've got examples of that. But it's probably not the best idea to go and use Pyro Micro if you've already invested quite heavily in Spring and if that's where you're comfortable. So that's not really a negative, but as I said in my talk, I've spent so long in that world that I only know the right ways of doing things. So. So actually what I just mentioned, Docker, that's what I'm working on, that's kind of my job. I've got a few personal things that I work on, but I tend to just not finish what I start. I'm the sort of person who will do a new project with the latest thing. So like recently I was looking into the ELK stack, Elasticsearch, Logstash and Kibana, and setting up a monitoring dashboard. And once I've kind of understood how it works and kind of like cracked the nub of it, then I kind of lose interest quite quickly. So I think the thing that's actually interesting that people can look out for is probably stuff that's coming out with Pyara. So a couple of the new features that are coming out with the latest release enable some really interesting new clustering topologies that are very cloud focused, that involve various different styles of nodes. And we actually decided internally yesterday that we're going to, over the next month, really focus on that and try and put out a lot of material about that to try and advertise what's possible. Because I think it's very different to traditional Java EE application server clustering methods where you'd have an admin server and then a couple of static servers which don't change. It's all very dynamic, very flexible, very fluid. And hopefully we'll be able to give people a few ideas of what's possible and maybe spark some ideas of new projects in other people's heads. Thank you very much.